The Government of Canada has finally released the complete details of the Home Caregiver Pilot Program of 2025. In this video, we're going to discuss the details of this program. But before we get started, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information and call scheduling link are on this video and in the description. If you have any immigration questions, please feel free to schedule a paid consultation call. If you need help with your immigration applications, feel free to reach out via email or text to inquire about our paid immigration services. Now let's get started with the video. So on March 31st, the government will officially start accepting applications for the Home Caregiver Pilot Program of 2025. This program has two streams: Home Child Care Provider and Home Support Worker. The first stream is for people who will provide care to children in households, and the second is for people who will provide support and care for adults who are senior citizens or disabled or have some kind of medical necessities. In both cases, the program is only open to workers who are in Canada. The program will not take applications from people who are outside Canada or who do not have a work permit status in Canada. In a limited number of cases, they will accept applications from people who have lost status or who have worked without authorization in Canada under a new public policy. But in almost all cases, you need to be a worker in Canada. There are 2,750 spots for both of these streams, so total around 5,500 positions are available. This program will offer direct permanent residence pathway, which means people will directly become permanent residents. They don't have to acquire a work permit and then become a permanent resident later, which was the case in previous pilots. So in this program, there are four major eligibility requirements. Number one, you need a job offer in an eligible occupation from a Canadian employer. Number two, you need recent and relevant work experience or training if you don't have work experience. Number three, you need language requirement of CLB level 4 in an English or French language exam. And number four, your education should be at least equal or above a Canadian high school diploma. Now let's talk about the details of the job offer that you need. So in this program, there are two streams: Home Child Care Provider and Home Support Worker. In both cases, you need a job offer either from a private household, that is a family, or a company that hires home care providers and sends them to people's households to take care of either children or the elderly and disabled people. So the employer, if it's a business, they need to maintain an employer-employee relationship with you. They cannot be a recruitment or a placement agency. Also, if the employer is a business, then they should have at least been in business or providing the same service for at least 1 year. A brand new business or an existing business that just started providing this service for less than 1 year will not work. Now, the job offer itself needs to be either as a home child care provider, that's NOC 44100, or NOC 44101, that's a home support worker, caregiver, and related occupation. So your job offer or your contract should list your occupation title, and the duties should match one of these two NOCs. Depending on what kind of job is being offered. One thing that's going to be disappointing is that job offers from early childhood educators, nurse aides, and orderlies, those are not accepted. Only job offers in 44100 and 44101 are eligible for this program. Now let's talk about the details of the eligibility. So like I said, this program is only open to workers in Canada. This means you should have a valid work permit, or you're on maintained status, or you're eligible to work in any occupation under one of the existing public policies. Some people who are out of status, or they have some unauthorized illegal working history, they may also be eligible under certain conditions of a new public policy that has been introduced. So a very limited, around 150 spots are available for people who are out of status or unauthorized. So unfortunately, this means that people who are on study permit or who have gained experience while working as a student, people who are business visitors, or people who are here on a visitor status, if they've got any job offers, they cannot apply. You have to have a work permit or maintained status or working under a public policy. Only these people can apply. Even people with work permits in seasonal occupations cannot apply. And finally, you have to prove that you have the ability to perform the job that is being offered to you. So that is based on an assessment of your experience and training. So let's talk about that. Now let's talk about the work experience requirement. So you need 6 months of continuous full-time paid work experience in the past 3 years in a related occupation. So the 6 months has to be a continuous experience without any breaks in employment. It has to be full-time, that is 30 hours per week, or if you worked multiple part-time jobs, then the total should add up to at least 30 hours per week. Self-employed work experience is not counted, and if you were in Canada, then work experience gained while you were a full-time student is not counted. So unfortunately, international students will not be able to claim work experience while they were studying. Your work experience can be inside Canada or outside Canada, but if it was inside Canada, it is either counted if it was on valid temporary resident status, or if it was unauthorized work, or if you're out of status, then it should qualify under the recent new home caregiver public policy that has been introduced. For the child care provider, the work experience needs to be either in 44100 home child care provider NOC, or it can be in 42202 early childhood educators and assistants, but only as early childhood assistants. Early childhood educators are not included. For the home support worker, the experience is counted under 44101, that's home support worker, or 33102, nurse aides, orderlies, and patient service associates. So recent experience means 6 months in the last 3 years, and relevant experience means experience in these two NOCs for childcare and these two NOCs for home support worker. Experience outside of these 4 NOCs will not be counted. Now, if you don't have the work experience, but you have some kind of training or education related to the caregiving field, that can also be used instead of work experience. Now, let's talk about the details of the training you need that you can use instead of work experience if you don't have related work experience. So this training needs to be at least 6 months in duration, completed within the last 2 years. It should be at the post-secondary level, meaning after your 12th standard, after you turn 17 years old. It should be full-time training, meaning at least 15 hours of training per week. It has to be in-person environment training, so it cannot be an online course. It cannot be an on-the-job training either. The training can be in Canada or overseas, and you don't need an ECA for this training. Now, the most important part is that the training should be targeted towards these occupations for which you're getting a job offer. So for example, you're under the childcare stream, your training should be targeted towards NOC 44100 home childcare providers or 42202 early childhood educators and assistants. For the home support worker pilot program, your training should be targeted towards NOC 44101 home support workers or towards 33102, that's nurse aides, orderlies, and patient service associates. So whatever training course you have taken should be targeted towards either the child care provider or towards the home support worker. So that's it. Those are the details of the Home Caregiver Pilot Program for both streams. The program opens on March 31st. The spots are very limited. 2,750 spots for childcare and 2,750 spots for the caregiver home support worker program. So total about 5,500 spots. It is highly expected that on the day this program opens, March 31st, it will get filled up immediately. So you need to keep your files ready with all the documents gathered together and ready to submit. If you need help with your immigration application for this Home Caregiver Pilot Program or for any other Canadian immigration application, my contact information is right here. Please feel free to reach out for us for support. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel for latest Canadian immigration information.